Okay, quick translation. Two sets of agencies. Either we give you the tools, you do it yourself, or you're part of a group that creates the community plan. We create the community plan. Administrators and providers, all the different kinds of providers, do one 30 to 45 minute survey once a year for 3 years. After a year and a half, we've got this great community plan we've implemented, we're talking together, and then we evaluate, everything's evaluated, all the numbers, how this project has gone, and what we've learned. Does building a village around access to care for depression, just us talking together, does it make any difference? Or, is it the same as everybody kind of doing their own thing? So we want to prove that coming together, community involvement makes a difference. We may not. We don't know. It's research.
But that goes back to the circle. It just goes back to what you saw in the circle. Remember the circle? And the engagement piece? This goes back to where the last thing you do is disseminate the information. But one of the things I think that is most important, and what I like best about this project, is in the end, who owns it? Thank you.
Right. So at the very end, Ken mentioned dissemination. What we're going to do, we're going to come back, maybe even here. Lots of agencies, anybody that couldn't participate, people from, far away, the valley, or agencies that, we all know what's going on in the community right now with resources, and it's difficult for some agencies to participate. And so everyone is welcome, and we will tell the results of our study. We will tell you the best way to take care of depression and what works and what doesn't. So this is a completely open process.
This is just to remind me to tell you that we have the storybook. So the storybook will review that for you, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you do too. The picture is our council. It's an earlier phase. Not everyone in the council now is there. But this is an example of what every participating agency gets. Support from the council, interaction with us, and working with your agency on how to use the toolkits. In the afternoon, you'll get a copy of this flash drive. You see the flash?
Yeah, don't tell them the surprise.
No, okay.
Part of the surprise.
And that's our toolkit. With web support, you'll see here our website where all of the resources, if you're a participating agency, you also will have access by web. We talked a bit how the two conditions differ. One is individual agency support, and the other is the network support. Here are some other possible wins from working with us on this initiative. I think you will all come up with new collaboration ideas that will get shared. This project has, as I mentioned, an outcomes evaluation, and it's already paid for. So, and we can share with you how we're doing that. So if your agency, cares about outcomes evaluation or has a mandate to do it, for this piece of the work you're doing, you would have an outcomes evaluation together across these agencies. You're already partnering and connecting, but I think projects like this tend to bring agencies even a little closer together that are working together on an initiative. And because we are really trying to develop leadership in the community and support the community in leading, for example, the different aspects of this toolkit, there will be community leadership development opportunities to the extent that may be of value to you.
Okay, let me say something quickly.
So that last one's really, really important. So you got to figure out what's your motivation or what's your incentive to participate. And a big one is training. So, for example, I have a group of nurses. I would love for my nurses to be more skilled in dealing with people they come across every day who are suffering from depression. whether it's learning therapy or whatever. This study has a lot of resources, a lot of training. So all people should come away with a different set of skills and leadership opportunities. Like I said, come beyond the council.
One of the things I like to tell everybody is, how many people in this room are leaders?
Everybody.
Everyone is a leader. And in this piece, it's really important that you can take onus on being your own leader, because you serve your own community, whether it's your community of family, your community of neighborhood, your community of job, your community of organization broadly, your church, wherever. You have lots of communities that you serve in, and you can be leaders in all of those agencies or services or wherever. So I want to make that very clear, that we're not trying to tell people that they're not leaders. We know you are. We're giving you more tools to take to where you want to go with your leadership. And retire me.
Retire.
So that's the next question, is what is our future together? So I hope that kind of explains the study a little bit better. Look through the storybook. And now let's get some action. You guys are looking a little tired. So I want everybody to stand up quickly.
I forgot.
Two things. One is, I just wanted to share some quotes. These are from letters from the last study that we did from minority participants in the project who spontaneously sent a letter to me as the study director, unsolicited, with comments about what had happened to their life as a result of being able to get access to depression care. I didn't even know that they knew they were in a study or connected it in their heads. But you can see my sense of desperation is gone. I do not feel so alone and helpless in combating my day-to-day problems. My anger has subsided to the point that people see me differently because I am different, and my relationships with people have improved dramatically. I have made many positive changes in my life, and somehow I feel stronger than I was before my depression. Will the depression ever come again? I hope not, but I know if it does, I'll be ready for it. And, those of you who work, and many of you do, with clients day to day, you know this, right? But how often do you hear it? And one of the nice things about being involved in a project with real outcomes data, the providers in our last project were shocked that something that they did 5 years ago made a difference in someone's life 5 years later. How often do we know that, right? So that's. I just want to say it's a very powerful thing to learn what the impact is in the midst of how difficult it is to give services and to survive day to day, seeing the need in the community. It's nice to know that people are doing better in certain ways.
I also want to say that some of us, in the work that we do, sometimes get depressed. And this is a tool that will help us take care of ourselves as well. That's a win for me, is to make sure that we find something that can help us. Because there are days when I go out there and see all of the candles on the ground, and today, watching the news, and that 19-year-old child that got killed, and the mother who was distressed on television, knowing that she's going to need help, and is someone going to be there for her? So I know that this is so important, and I think that the one thing that I think that we all have is that we all have the initiative, we all have the energy, and some days it gets hard for us. So when the days it gets hard, let us practice CBT.